Carey. Today I'm hanging out with world-renowned chef Michael Ferraro, and he's the king of comfort food. And who doesn't need more comforting than me? Yeah, I love this because you do this. What's your move? I don't feel uncomfortable.
They say laughter is the best medicine. It decreases stress hormones and increases immune cells, therefore improving our resistance to disease. Laughter triggers the release of endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals. Endorphins promote an overall sense of well-being and can even temporarily relieve pain.
Today, 3 outspoken panelists join Wendy for an all-new edition of Hot Topics.
Carey, I think it's fine, and I think Jen is brilliant. Is there ever a better way to let the world know that she is over Brad Pitt? She has invited the mother? This is brilliant.
Ironically for Carey Reilly, comedy came to her after her father's sudden death. Tired of the tears, she took it upon herself to bring back the joy her family had lost and became a stand-up comedian. Since, Carey has been spreading laughter through her blog, Not So Skinny Mom, has been named one of Oprah Winfrey Magazine's top 50 influencers and brand ambassadors of 2017, has hosted over 80 episodes of the talk show The Daily Glow on Facebook Watch. She's a travel and lifestyle writer for FoxNews.com, Today.com, FamilyTraveler.com, and is a recurring guest on ABC's Today Show, VH1, HLN's Showbiz Tonight, The Joe Bayer Show, among others. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Bella to the Core. I am your host, Vanessa Coppes, and I am here with the fabulous Carey Reilly.
Oh.
This is how this interview is going to go down, everyone. They say laughter is the best form of therapy.
Yes. Yes.
How?
And
yes.
donuts. But yes.
I think I agree with that. And chocolate chip cookies. But
Raw. Don't even cook it. Yes.
How did you start? I mean, how does one know that you're going to embark in this profession of being a comedian?
You don't. You have no idea. I was acting.
Okay.
And when I was young, I mean, I've been acting, I guess, school and such since I was 10, probably.
Okay.
And then I started doing it professionally when I graduated college. But I had gone to school for communications.
Okay.
And I particularly was interested in being a journalist on camera with good lights. I had braces in college, so it was a little confusing to all my professors because I was like, I'm going to be on camera. And they're like, I don't know what's going on. They're like, you can't even do a demo tape in college. I'm like, ugh. So it was a little rough.
I was one of those late bloomers too.
I haven't bloomed yet. I still haven't bloomed.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So go on.
So I'm with my headgear and my braces in college, but I ended up moving to New York because I didn't live in New York.
Okay.
I lived in Syracuse, New York, but that's not New York.
Okay.
And I got a job at an internship at a show in New York, and so I went and did that, and that was my first taste of the city. Okay. And I was like, I think I want to be in New York. My mom was like, no, people dying in the subways. I was like, I still want to go to New York.
Yeah.
But that was that's really important to do internships. I would say that, or work for free, not necessarily all the time, but in moments of when you're trying to get to the next level.
Yeah.
Because you connect and you meet people. In that moment of being an intern, I met three friends who are still my friends today.
Yeah.
One of them said, I got a room in the city. Come up from Virginia.
That's amazing.
And live with me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And that was my jumping off point.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
So I never wanted to be an starving artist.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an artist with, some sort of a 401k. So I always had like a daytime job.
Artist with a savings account.
With a savings account. I was like, I still have to go out to dinner because I like to eat. So I had a full-time job, and then I acted at night, and then I got to a point where I was doing commercials, and I was always being chosen as like somebody. I was 23, and I was like, this is actually a menopause commercial, and the casting director was like, yeah, just go ahead and read. I booked it. I was like, I was in a minivan driving in Miami. They flew in Miami for the commercial. I was in a minivan with, I'm like, I got my 4 kids in the car, and I just feel like I'm having hot flashes. I was like, I don't even know what a hot flash is. I'm 23. Or I was booking commercials for like Bally's Total Fitness.
Oh my gosh.
I got there and I was like, oh, I'm the before. I'm not the fit, hot something that I, in my mind, see in the mirror.
Correct.
The world was perceiving me not as an ingenue, right? So I was like, oh, I think I'm going to rethink this. So I, and I got frustrated that casting directors and directors, they decide when you work. I was like, I like being funny. Mm-hmm. I don't know how I took a class. That's a great way to kind of, get your wheels turning and get around being scared to get up there and do it. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do stand-up comedy because I can decide how many times I get up a night. So it was like 3, 4, 5 times a night, every night. And I just started working on an act. Yeah. And then I had kids and it went all downhill from there.
So that's when you started to write your blog, correct? That's a Skinny Mom blog.
Yes.
Okay.
So doing comedy would go back and forth. I would book a commercial, book Law and Order, or All My Children, different shows, and then before I knew it, I was in comedy. I was out of comedy, and then I was just like, I'm a mom. It was too much, and up to host a show. And I always felt like I got right down to the last one. They're gonna pick me for like a big TV show to host it, and then they pick someone else. Wow. And I was like, here we go again with the Bally's Total Fitness commercials. I'm just not quite right. So I was like, I'm gonna do a blog, because at this time, it's not enough to be a comedian. Yeah. They want to know, well, what's your expertise? Yeah. You gotta be more than that. Yeah. You can be a chef and be funny, but you can't be a comedian who's trying to learn how to cook and have a cooking show. It didn't make sense. So the blog brought a lot of. It worked. Yeah. I mean, it worked for me. It really allowed me to be home.
In other ways that you probably didn't expect, and that's something that's really interesting, because I know for myself that's how I got my foot in the door. Also, was through blogging, and it had opened. It still continues to open a lot of doors that. I would have not, navigated otherwise. So that was really interesting to see how that kind of evolved. So one of the things that I love that you're communicating to our viewers is just your ability to reinvent yourself. Because, I think we set ourselves up on this path to pursue this one dream and this passion that we have for this one particular thing. But we realize, especially in this day and age, where you really do have to be kind of like a jack of all trades, especially in this digital arena where, as you said it before, you have 3-4 people who will do your job for $0.
They're lined up right out the door.
Yeah. So, and we met under different circumstances. It may not, as a writer, it may not be your bread and butter, or your first job, but maybe comedy is your first job of choice, or hosting a show maybe your first career of choice. Yeah. But you do have to have your hand in other things to continue to move forward.
You do. Yeah. And I think it's important to have to be doing a lot of different things, because that's the world now, right? I mean, it's not just like pick your one lane and stay in it. Yeah. And I think a ball of motion stays in motion. And so the more people I meet, the more places I'm going, I would not choose to be a writer. That's, which I do. I write about travel, and I write gift guides and things about food, and but I don't like to be, I never.
We love food!
We love food!
Food is great!
I wouldn't think I never wanted to be the person with a typewriter in the forest in a cabin. Okay. Being like, ding, 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 ding. Yeah. That's not me. I want to be entertaining and lifting people's spirits and telling you how goofy my day was to inspire you. Yeah. And but you know what? It keeps me busy and moving forward. And now you don't have to go to a club to entertain 50 people or 100 people. Now you can just turn on the camera and you've got yourself moving along. You got
quite an audience, right?
Yeah.
Which is great. It's very convenient, because you could do that from your pajamas right at home.
Yes. I'm wearing pajamas right now.
No, she's not.
Watch. I'm going to clean my jeans.
No, she's not.
I'm a mom. That's how we clean.
Which leads me to my next question. As a mother, how do you juggle all of these different hats? Because I know, that's something that's always, at least for myself, as a mom myself, we want the career, we want to be the mom. We want to be the super mom. We want to be present in all of these different aspects of our children's lives, our own lives. How do you juggle it all?
Yeah. So my kids come first,
Of course.
hands down.
Yeah.
But that's not no of course for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like I want to be home. I want to be present. If that means that my dreams are on the back burner, which when I had my kids, my career was really hot at that time.
Yeah.
And it just took, a screeching halt when I had those babies.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I actually said, do I want to be 50 and never have had children but had a great career? Or do I want to be 50 and, chugging along and I got these great kids? I was like, I want kids.
And I have had the pleasure of meeting your kids.
Oh,
they are wonderful. Wonderful
you.
kids, yeah.
So I think, I don't know, I don't have an answer to that. I don't know how you do it. But I think that they always come first.
Yeah.
And sometimes, now that they're getting older, they want me to put myself first.
Yeah.
No, Mom, you go do that. That's great for you. That's my daughter will say.
awesome. That's
my
amazing.
son's not there yet. He's only 10. But my daughter's 13. She's like, I liked you. Good for you. And, get me some goodie bags. So I think that's important, but I don't know if you feel this way. We're women of a certain age. And I feel like...
Define certain age. No, don't.
We're not... Don't. I'm not 30.
No, totally,
Right?
totally.
Yeah. You cross over to where Spanx is like an everyday underwear.
100%.
Right,
I'm
okay.
there.
So, but
check.
So I do feel like and I wonder if you felt this way. I felt like a real nervousness to get things done. To oh my God, I have to be at this place at 35. I have to be at this place at 38. Nobody will ever want me at 40.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, you know what? I'm throwing those ideas away.
Yeah.
Why? For what? We can't think like that as women anymore. A friend of mine, I said to her, I go, so-and-so is really beautiful.
Yeah.
She goes, I bet she was a knockout in her day.
Oh my God, what does that even mean?
And I was like, no, I think she's really beautiful now. That's where I was at.
Yeah.
So I think we have to I think we have to appreciate women. Yeah. I think the more women that are becoming in the power of jobs that they're selecting people to have jobs that they're going to realize that women of all ages have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
And we're finally going to be valued, like in a lot of cultures, like women who have wisdom and knowledge, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to surround yourself with people who feel the same way.
Correct.
Otherwise, you're going to get exhausted and beat up trying to make somebody see that way, and they're not helping you, and you're just helping them, and that's bad news. But, maybe you can inspire them to help.
So, just because you mentioned it before, and that's something that I feel like it's something that we still as women have to get over, is that kind of like the jealousy, tingy feeling that we get when another woman gets either the position or the role or the or the whatever that we wanted, and maybe we were the ones who introduced them to the producer, the connection.
Yep, it happened.
Am I talking about you?
Yeah, this is me. I'm sorry, you're not talking about me. I did introduce. My vice is jealousy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay.
My husband looks at me and he goes, "Is it happening again?" Because I noticed so and so got that job.
And before you tell the story, or we go into that, I have to thank you for being so candid about this. Just because I know this is going to help so many people. Kind of just at least start to release it, because at the end of the day, it doesn't serve you. But go ahead.
It doesn't serve you.
Yeah.
It's ugly. I think the more that you can realize, like, something that's not ugly, not very pretty, is an ugly thing that you're feeling, and that you have to recognize it.
Yeah.
And so I've always had this real jealousy thing, like, oh my God, she doesn't even have any talent. How did she get that job? That was my job. It's so bad. Yeah. And my husband literally can see it a mile away, and he's like, I gotta get out of here.
See you next week.
Yeah. But the way I got off the wheel, I was talking to a very good friend of mine who is just very spiritual, Bobby. I love Bobby. And Bobby said to me, he's like, listen, I get it. That's like a total normal emotion. It's like, but if you want what that person has, you can't just have that thing. You have to switch your whole life. So do you not want to have Ava and John? Do you not want to have your husband and where you live and all you've accomplished so far, and your mother? And I was like, no. He's like, it doesn't work. You can't pick one.
Yeah.
Because it's all part of a big plan and a bigger picture.
Yeah.
And it took a while for me to wrap my,
Well, because it takes a while. Because I've had those moments too, and I'm a big connector. Like, that's my gift. I'm always seeing how people can collaborate and work together, and I have a tendency of just making that happen. I'll introduce, and I'll, via email. I thought of, I think you two should be working together. I see synergies for you two. And something happened a few months ago where I saw this person. I connected them to someone in the industry, and they got a really amazing opportunity. And I too was kind of like,
you didn't really say thank you, did you?
Okay, all right. You said something very powerful. Jealousy is a very ugly emotion. It is very ugly, but it's very human, and we all feel it at one point or another. And but more importantly, is acknowledging that. Do we recognize? Is acknowledging is when we choose one thing, we can't have all these other things.
No.
So I would never not want to have my children, my husband, the life that I have, the career that I have, over that one shot, which could represent me sacrificing them. So I appreciate you sharing with us.
Well, I have a catchphrase too that you can use.
Yeah.
You may use it. My mother taught me this. It's like, it's not my turn. It's not my turn. It's not my turn. And I have to remember that because I always want it to be my turn.
Yeah.
Like that's another.
You want it to be your turn like every day, every time, all times. It's my turn.
Yeah, that's why I can't lose 20 pounds because I'm like, I never had a bagel before. I always want it to be my turn to eat the bagel. But my mother is like, it's not your turn. And I was like, oh, it's not my turn. And so I'm like a 12-year-old. Honestly, I never grew past that. I peaked at 12 and went downhill. So I think that if you can just think it's not my turn, it's her turn.
Yeah.
We've all had turns.
Yeah.
Just I like it a lot. It's my turn a lot. And it does seem like some people have turns all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. And that's okay.
That's okay.
And that's okay.
It's all right. It's fine.
It is.
It is. I feel it and it's fine. Yes.
So we cannot end this interview without asking one of our staple questions at Bella, which is, how do you define beauty? After all of that, how would you define beauty?
I have to tell you, I am a work in progress. And I defined beauty for a long time as what you see as the model. Christy Brinkley is what I grew up with, and Cindy Crawford. That's beautiful. I don't look like that. Maybe I'm not beautiful. But it took a long time for me to morph into, no, that is no. Yeah. I'm beautiful. To me, being beautiful is, somebody said to me, this is when I was 20 years old. I had one of my first temping jobs out of college. So maybe I was 22. And I remember I was like, I don't think Jennifer Aniston's very pretty at all. I don't think she's good looking. This is the ugly part of me, right?
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, I think she's beautiful. And I go, really? I don't think she's beautiful. No. And she's like, well, if you look at the word, it means full of beauty.
Yeah.
So if you think of someone's beautiful, are they full of beauty? And that's what I'm talking about. And she's very kind. And I was like, oh.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. So now when I have friends that maybe they're not Cindy Crawford or whoever, Hadid or whatever, but I look at them and they are kind, they are loving, they are sweet, they are there all the time for me, and I'm like, oh my God, they're just beautiful. Yeah. So I think being full of beauty, like, spilling out of beauty is beautiful.
That's awesome. I love that definition.
Right?
It's beautiful.
It's not necessarily, I mean, you gotta put on a little pink lip sometimes, really. But,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was so much fun.
I love it.